Alright. Solitude. I'm back. I've said that more than once. I've walked up this slope more than once. I've opened more than one episode this way. But I'm back to Solitude. It's been a while. Jeez, it feels like half a year to me, actually. One episode a week for so long, man. Golly. Anyways, we're hopping over to the Bards College here. I know that there's some miscellaneous tasks to take care of. Usually I only do these quests whenever you hit the end of the game because it gives you free skill ups. Wait a minute, are you? No.
You stay out of trouble now.
You get free skill ups from these quests, which is really great whenever, you know, you reach the end and it takes forever to level up a skill. Pantia.
That damn fool. I should wring her neck.
Who are you talking about?
Lorena. That fool student of mine stole my flute and sold it to some necromancer. I just got a ransom note for it. That flute has been handed down for 17 generations. Well, don't just stand there. Go get my flute!
Hold on, Pantia. I'm not your errand boy. But besides that, why would a necromancer want a flute in the first place?
Apparently, Lorena told him some story about the flute being able to make the dead dance. It's just a flute. A really old and valuable flute, but just a flute.
I see. Well, I may not be your errand boy, Atia, but it happens to be your lucky day. In my adventures, I did go through a necromancer's den, and I stumbled across a flute with your family name carved into it. I came to return it to you. Here.
That's it! Wonderful! I knew I could count on you. I don't have any money to give you, but I can show you a few tricks I learned playing for the Winterhold Wizards. Now you can say you've met the most talented bard in all of Skyrim.
Whatever you say, Pantia. Everybody else, a lot of people seem to have contempt for you. Anyways, level ups.
A good story is 9 parts truth and 1 part fiction.
Seems like most
Gerard.
of these are
Divine smile on you, friend.
Good day, Gerard. I'm here for a specific reason, but before we get down to business, I feel my tongue is losing its edge. Any chances that you'd be able to give me a few pointers? Help me brush up on my art of speech.
You already know all that I know.
Oh my. Well, that was a response I never expected to hear, Gerard. I suppose the pupil becomes the master. Anyways, I've actually come today to deliver good news for you, as well as Riorn's drum. It wasn't easy to find, but here.
At last! I have searched for this drum for 20 years.
The college treasury is a bit thin right now, but I can show you some tricks I learned from my days with the army.
I see. In place of teaching me how to wag my tongue, you can instead, show me how to swing a sword. I suppose it's all fair then.
I suppose I should return to my papers.
It doesn't seem right.
Read carefully. You will see there are ways to stay true to the essence, Ildi. Even while making parts up.
Only reason I'm so good with a lute is because I'm old. It takes a lifetime to master. It makes me sad whenever I think about it.
I'm sorry, why would playing a lute make you sad?
I'm sorry to break it to
Oh,
you.
sorry. My mind wanders sometimes. I was just thinking about Finn's lute. Over a year ago, thieves broke into the college and made off with a lot of valuable things, mostly gold and silver. But they also stole Finn's lute. We just learned where the bandits fled to, and I very much want that lute back.
I might be able to find it, Inge, but, before I go running off to try to find something inside of a bandit den, what makes Finn's lute so important? Is it an artifact of some type?
Finn was the bard who invented the 8-course lute that is commonplace today. Until he found a way to string the extra courses, bards only had 6-course lutes. The lute they stole is Finn's original 8-course lute. I doubt they even realize its true value. Glad that distraction's over.
Jeez. Alright, Inge. Didn't know that I was distracting you. I'll just be on my way then.
Huh?
Jeez. Talk about a bitter old woman. Ah, even whenever they see me, they still don't see me. Or something to that effect. It's also kind of funny watching, like, seeing these bandits sit around pumped full of, ethereal arrows. I suppose that's the most right way to, that's the most correct way to put it. Ethereal arrows. Woo! Check it out. Spiky ball. Okay, so there's twofold reason to do this quest. One is Stone of Baranziah. Haha. And I don't know if I've read that book or not. The first is Stone of Baranziah, and the second is the fact that the drum is found in here. I think that or not the drum. I'm thinking of Riorn's drum. Finn's loot. Finn's loot is in here. Here we go. The big thing here is, I think that the loot always spawns in this cave. If it, like, then again, it could very easily be one of those, Radiant quest items. If you don't know, Radiant... Bethesda came up with a system back in, back for Oblivion, where it was like, okay, this is supposed to be Radiant AI, and the game, the AI, you know, it does things based on what's in the world. It's their version of AI, and they expanded it in Skyrim to be a Radiant quest system where, you know, the more generic quests they don't have to hand make. Instead, it's like, oh, find a weapon for me, and it automatically spawns a special, you know, item or weapon or whatever you're supposed to find in one of the many dungeons in the world. I don't think that the loot is a Radiant quest item. I don't think that it spawns just anywhere. I think it always shows up in this particular bandit den. I could be wrong, but I get the feeling that it always shows up here. Oh. Well, look at that. One hell of a deadly butt shot that I just delivered to this guy. Also, there's not much of anything inside of this little den and or cave, so there's not much of a point in, you know, not looting everything, including the useless hide armor. Which, you know, I always stick to... I really like picking up all of the iron daggers. Well, iron daggers, basically things that are super, super light. Anything that's super light and you can either wear it or use it as a weapon, I tend to try to keep that stuff, because enchanting is an enormously beneficial way to make money, and it moderates itself because, you know, if you do alchemy, you can end up making more potions than you're ever going to sell. Not the case with enchanting. Anyway, back to Solitude. Alright, let's go ahead and talk to these, this stuffy lot. Wherever the hell Ingay is. I bet you it's, lecture hour. She's probably up on the upper floor here. Yep, sure enough.
This time, let's try.
The only reason I'm so good with a lute is because I'm old. It takes a lifetime to master. Let's hear it.
Well, Ingay, as a master of the lute, you should be fairly happy that I've returned with Finn's lute. It was actually fairly easy to get my hands on. In fact, I'd say that catching butterflies is harder than what you set me out to do. Here.
What? You did? Oh, sweet divines, you did. There is no way I can pay you what this loot is worth, but I can teach you a few tricks I've learned over the years. Glad that distraction's over.
Right. With that done, I think it's time for me to do something long delayed. It's time for me to return to Dragon's Reach.
I can't believe that worked. Something to tell the grandkids, eh?
Indeed. But the next part's going to be the really fun part to tell the kids. Open up the trap. I want the dragon set free.
You sure about that? You want to let that dragon loose after all the trouble to catch him in there?
I know what I'm doing, and I said open the trap.
Your funeral. Someone else is gonna have to help you get him back in there again. Get ready to open the trap.
Alright, let's hope that he doesn't do anything wrong.
Seems like a really bad idea to me.
Carry on, soldier. This is all part of the Dragonborn's plan.
I think it's a bad idea too, just so you know. But we're doing it anyway.
Was nu? Dini dein Ruthi Asval.
You do know that's all Greek to me. It's at this moment that I realize that dragons don't have, buttholes. Anuses. Odaving!
Saran Uth, I await your command as promised. Are you ready to see the world as only a Dova can?
Actually, Odaving, not yet. There's one last thing I need to do.
Krezini, the freedom of the sky beckons. Yet I stay here, Nogal, as promised.
Right. This will just take a moment. I need to level up. I leveled up, and I forgot to level up. So, we're going to take a little bit of health here. And this dungeon's going to be a bit of a mess, so I'm going to take the final perk that I've just never really gotten around to. Twin Souls, so I can do 2 summonings at once. I'm going to be running into a lot of Draugr Deathlords here. And I don't want to die, you know? Alright. Odaving.
Saran Uth, I await your command as promised. Are you ready to see the world as only a Dova can?
I am Odaving. Take me now to Skuldafn, to Sovereign God, to Alduin. It is time for the beginning of the end.
Zukbrit Uth, I warn you, once you've flown the skies of Kaizal, your envy of the Dove will only increase. Amativ, Mubokotin Stinselok.
The greatest person I've ever met. The biggest fool.
May Kinneret guard you while you pass through the realm.
Got anything for me? Not really. Just a little bit of, I mean, golly, this... My god. Stop shooting for me. I got 2 guys for you to try to kill right here and now. My armor spell literally just ran out, too. What I really need is more inventory space. I mean, I'm hardly even through this dungeon. There's still so much left. And I can't carry diddly squat more. So many Deathlords. Of course, then again, it's not really so much the problem that there's too much stuff to loot in the dungeon. It's the fact that this is... Well, I mean, this is a dungeon that, you know, it's so late in the game that if you're not rushing through the main quest, it's going to spawn tons of enemies that have, you know, ebony and glass equipment, which, oh god, ebony and glass equipment is so freaking heavy. Well, not the glass, more so the ebony, but you get the idea, right? That was not supposed to be the case. Woo! I need to pay more attention to whether or not there are traps hanging out in this place. Tripwires and pressure plates, etc. Hello? Anybody home up here? But yeah, I mean, I'm just... A big part of me is just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm leaving behind so much value here. Oh, okay. I thought that was 3 Deathlords in there? It's just like a Draugr Rite or something. And for that matter, it's a little bit disappointing that these Deathlords don't have, like, grand souls. I think Draugr Death Overlords are the only ones who can really do that damage. Indeed, Dremora. More ebony. More ebony that I can't carry. Kind of wish that I had, what was it, the Steed Stone? I feel like it's the Steed Stone that gives you the increase to carry weight by 100 points. I don't actually know off the top of my head which standing stone it is that does that. And for that matter, I'm fairly certain that I don't know. I know where the stone is. I just don't remember what the name of the stone is. Yeah, whatever. I hope that we're getting close to the end. This is actually a section of the game that I hardly ever play through. I do know that this dungeon is, relatively speaking, not all that long. Like, the dungeon really isn't all that long, and there isn't a huge amount of stuff to actually loot out of this dungeon. That's like there aren't an incredible number of loot caches, as you've seen so far. Like, there's not an obscene number of chests to loot in this dungeon. It's just nothing but Death Lords are spawning, and, you know, they're really, really prone to hold the Ebony. Okay, this guy's gotta be a Draugr Death Lord. Yeah, okay, he's a Death Overlord. This guy's definitely... Okay. He's definitely got a grand soul, not just a stupid greater soul. So, he's one that I definitely need to soul capture. Because that's the biggest complaint that I have about this game is the fact that there are no, there we go. There are no, or very, very few... Oh. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at that. There are extremely few enemies with actual grand souls in this game. And getting your hands on black soul gems is a whole lot more difficult than in, what do we have here? A wolf, a moth, and a dragon. Okay, cool. There are a whole lot fewer, enemies with, what is it? A wolf, a moth, and a dragon. Did I actually screw this up? The bottom two were in the right places? Relatively speaking. Alright, there we go. Open sesame. But yeah, there aren't a whole lot of enemies with grand souls in the game. And, you know, people have grand souls, but black soul gems are very hard to come by. A whole lot more difficult to come by than they were in Oblivion, because in Oblivion, the Mages Guild dealt with necromancy, and there were places where you could actually convert grand soul gems into black soul gems. You could make as many black soul gems as you could buy grand soul gems from vendors. It was really, really convenient. This game... The Dawnguard expansion has something like that, but the units that you... Like, they're out in the Soul Cairn, they're out of the way. Storm Call. Storm of Storm Call. But, you know, like the way to turn grand soul gems into black soul gems, it's out in the Soul Cairn, which makes it out of the way, and then the things that you have to use to convert your grand soul gems into black soul gems, they work once, and then they have to, like, cool down. So I've never talked about it here in the series, I think, but I know that I've covered it in guides. The system of respawning, okay? So, like, God, I'm leaving so much stuff behind here because I just don't have the inventory space. But the idea behind the system that exists for respawning things in the world, where it's like, okay, you cleared that dungeon out, but enough time has gone by, new bandits are going to show up in that dungeon. So, the general rule is that if you clean a place out in the overworld, I think it's like 30 total in-game days, which is a lot of time. It is really a lot of time. And I think that there are only, like, at best 9 places. God, okay, I don't want you hitting me. I think that at best there are like 9 places in the Soul Cairn where you can turn grand soul gems into black soul gems, which means, I mean, you're just kind of stuck. It's like, okay, I can make 9 black soul gems, you know. Okay, this is definitely the end of the dungeon. So, just the fact that you can't really get your hands on grand souls all that easy, it's annoying. It's really, really annoying, you know? Okay, now there should be some sort of a loot cache around here. I haven't seen, like, the big fancy chest where all of the loot is. I could swear there's something around here. It's not down there. I've already been there. I don't think it was there. Oh, hey, what's this? This must be it. But yeah, that's a minimal complaint that I have going on. You know, not to sit here and, you know, moan and grunt. People don't. None of you guys want to hear me complain about the Elder Scrolls or Skyrim or anything like that. I get it. You know, don't complain about something that you're enjoying. Which is one of those weird things. It's like I complain a whole bunch about the direction that Bethesda took Fallout 4 in, you know, and it's like I can't sit around and say that Fallout 4 was a bad game because I spent, you know, like 200 hours in it. But at the same time, doesn't mean that I don't have complaints. But I'll leave that as it is. And there's an enormous loot chest. Why did I even go through the trouble of finding the loot chest? I can't carry anything. Alright, enough of that. What do you say? Oh my god. Oh my god, my summons are so dumb. Get out of the way, Dramoras. Let us take care of the final boss. I don't even know what's going to be up these stairs for me. It's been so, like, I've only ever done this quest once, maybe twice, you know? I honestly don't... I think I've only ever done the main quest a single time. What do I have up here? Oh god, it's a dragon priest! Yeah, that means that I've only ever done this once, because, I've gone mask hunting before, but I've only ever finished the mask hunting quest once, which means that it would have had to be on the first character that I ever played. Okay, he is impervious to, my god. If this guy doesn't have a grand soul, I'll be angry. Nakarin? Nakrin? Nakrin, I think his name is Nakrin. Maybe I'm rolling my R's too much. He wasn't much of a challenge, though. Dragon Priest staffed. And there's the mask. So, I don't think that there's anything that I want to store. I'm gonna have to just... I'm gonna have to put on my carrying equipment and hope that there's nothing in Sovereign Guard that I really need to, well... Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm not dead, but I'm going to the afterlife. Seal of Oblivion. Talos, save me. Alright, here we go. Sovereign Guard.